Hey guys, this is Jose again with another dev diary for Criss Cross. I've actually been kind of busy this last time, so this will be an exciting little update, hopefully. So today I wanted to discuss some of the changes I've made recently with the latest release of Criss Cross, which had a lot of really kind of more or less pretty big changes. So just about every GUI has changed in some way. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll just line up all these machines, or I don't know if I want to call them machines. They kind of are. But I'll line them all up and show you the changes. So the electro extractor and the cropometer have gotten some of the biggest changes. First of all, the GUI has been completely rearranged. Basically, I got tired of these GUIs looking just like that of a furnace. I kind of thought that was a little plain and bland. So as far as the recipes work, the recipes are exactly the same, but the progress bar, the arrow is still the same, but the catalyst meter has been changed. Same goes for your energy from redstone. That also has changed. And so essentially this means nothing at all. It just looks nicer in my opinion, and I spent a good little amount of time on getting everything kind of oriented. So you can see here a few of those recipes have changed in the electro extractor, pardon me. Having a hard time with words today. So the recipes have mostly changed from being fixed from what they were. So mostly the cobble to sand. I'm still giving 2 because it does cost an entire redstone dust, which for some people is worth a lot, I guess. I'm not sure. But you can see the configurations for the ardite dust and cobalt dust are working just fine. I just want to take a look here. I might have to actually save and quit completely. That's fine though. We'll go to Criss Cross. I'm working on my modded server instance. If we take a look at the electro extractor and the config file, you'll see I've changed it so now it does the entire ore name. I was discussing doing this last time and I decided to go for it because it didn't seem like it made any sense to leave it the way I had it before. So I have changed it, and I've also changed the default list to only generate with iron and gold now. So essentially all these other items here are added either by hand, or these are actually my old values, but if you update and you have the old config, it won't change the config for you. So another thing, I guess, while I'm here is I've added feature control, so you can enable or disable any feature from the mod, and I've tested this now a few times and I can't get anything to crash anymore, so I think I've done proper checks everywhere at this point. Scribe recipes I don't think have changed. I don't think anything else has changed. Oh, actually, yeah, sort of. This line here does not exist anymore. This is only here because it's still in the config file. If you delete the lines in the config file, it won't regenerate, and if you change anything here, it won't do anything. So this is completely pointless now, because I've changed a few other things that we're going to get to shortly. I guess that is my next focus point, is the wood chipper now dynamically accepts any liquid or any fluid storage for 1,000 millibuckets or more of water. So it doesn't care about if you add the fuel to the fuel list, it'll automatically find it. So all the recipes for the wood chipper are now completely automatically located. So the log to plank recipe is automatically found, and the water bottle recipe is automatically found. Or not water bottle, but the, I guess, fuel item is already automatically found. One thing you'll notice is the GUI is using the new forge bucket texture. That is optional. The forge bucket texture only appears if you have the forge bucket model enabled. So if you somehow are using a mod that doesn't add new fluids, you won't get the forge bucket model for these GUIs. It'll look like a normal bucket. So that's nifty, I suppose. Cobblestone generator has changed. Basically, it's now just a left and right orientation. And okay, sorry, I had to make sure I didn't make a mistake there. I fixed, this will now take any lava or water fluid container. Like, this only takes water fluid containers. This is lava or water fluid container now. And said fluid container can fit in here however you please. And like I said earlier regarding this GUI, it goes the same for here. These bucket textures are based on if the forge model has loaded or not. Same goes for you. This is another big rewrite, sort of. And this is for the scribe. It's no longer anything like it used to be. So first of all, I might have to restart my game. I'm not really sure. Let me see. Yeah. So give me a minute. I'm going to change the config real quick, and I will be right back with you. Alright, so we are back. There we go. Just want to make sure that was working. So the scribe recipe has not changed, and as you can see, I've actually added a few custom config options for custom enchantments from Thaumcraft. So we've got anvils for repair and night ore for haste. And so, you know, obviously that still works just fine. One thing I have changed, though, is if I grab a book and quill, and let's take a look at a recipe. I've moved the recipe tooltip to up in the name now, since there is no longer a progress indicator. We'll do emeralds. That works for me. And actually, let me grab a few more book and quills, because I want to show you guys this. So, essentially, what's nice is, used to be the stack size had to be specific, had to be exact for these recipes to work. Now it's no longer the case. So you see the recipe calls for 3 emeralds. Used to be, for this recipe to even work, you had to put exactly 3 emeralds in, no more, no less. That has changed. It doesn't care. It'll just decrement the stack properly. And as you can see, it was instant. Still makes the jingle sound. I question if that needs to be removed. And obviously it's not going to continue in that case if there's not enough. And even though there is technically enough here, there's not enough room in the output slot, so you have to pull this one out before the next one comes through. So the GUI itself is a lot different, but the functionality is pretty much the same. I've just cleaned up the that issue with the scribe being stack size sensitive, and made it so that it's instantaneous now. So one other thing that I think is pretty frickin' cool, and this is I think my last change worth noting, is the Everfull bucket has changed quite a bit as far as its background code. First of all, you can see obviously there's a new model. This one is not based on the Forge model. I don't know how to really do that as far as choosing one texture over another depending on if the Forge model loader has taken effect. So I've got to look into that. I think it's going to be a big pain. I could be wrong. So the Everfull bucket still works the same as before. So we'll just, like, I'll show you here. Still gives you infinite water. But the cool thing is now, I haven't tested it on all of these, but I have tested it on some. I haven't tested it on a cauldron. It might be worth a try. And we'll try a tank from Buildcraft and from Tinkers. These are now considered fluid containers. So you can infinitely fill your pedal apothecaries. You can infinitely fill your crucibles. You can not fill a cauldron. Okay, so vanilla Minecraft lacks a little bit of implementation there, but that's fine. You can infinitely fill a Buildcraft tank, or in this case, you can also infinitely fill a seared tank from Tinkers. Now, it has a little bit of an odd behavior here. This is probably Tinkers, considering it doesn't happen on Buildcraft. You can see it. I might understand why this is the case. I've registered the Everfull bucket so that the item is both the full item and the empty item. So essentially, when you register a fluid in Forge, or a fluid container in Forge, you essentially register 2 things. You say, here is the item, and then you say, here is what the empty version of it is. So if it was like a bucket of lava, let's say it was a bucket of fuel, the empty version would just be an empty bucket. Or if it was a bottle of something, then it would just be a bottle. So things like this are all relatively reasonable. But what I've done is I've registered both the empty container, so what would normally be like an empty bottle or an empty bucket, as the full bucket still, because it's meant to stay indefinitely full. So that's essentially all there is with that. Not much has changed anywhere else, so I guess that really wraps it up already. I just kind of wanted to show off a few of those changes, and as you can see, like I said, the fluid container stuff is pretty fun, actually. Like, this is, I consider this to be pretty useful, if you ask me. So that's going to wrap it up there. Hope you guys are enjoying the latest builds. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Of course, bug reports, also let me know. You can do all these things on the GitHub. which is on the CurseForge page. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys later.